I'm Kelsey. I have my booktube hat, and today I am going to try to explain a book to you. And this book is Radiance by Catherynne and Valente. Radiance is a very unusual book. It is not straightforward at all, so I'm hoping to be able to give you sort of a sense of the sort of book this is and what it's trying to do, so you can figure out if it's something you would enjoy reading or not. Radiance is essentially the story of the life and disappearance of a woman named Catherynne, a documentarian and the daughter of a famous filmmaker in an alternate so-called deco-punk history where all of the planets of the solar system are inhabited in the early 20th century. It is not a straightforward narrative. It is told in bits and pieces. You get interviews, you get transcripts, you get film scripts, you get a radio drama, you get journal entries. And basically you have to kind of figure out what's going on bit by bit, because you as the reader only learn really the known facts of Catherynne's life and disappearance and the way this universe works in bits and pieces as the novel goes on. Because really what this book is an exploration of how we formulate stories and draw meaning from them. I think I would be misleading you if I led you to believe that I thought I understood this book entirely on a first read, but I think I understood enough to be completely awed by it. It sort of fried my brain and tossed the scattered bits all over the place, and I'm trying to pick it up and piece it back together into something that resembles a review here, so bear with me. Basically, Catherynne disappeared while filming a documentary on Venus. Her father, Percival is trying to get closure by making a film about her disappearance. And throughout this book, you see him try to do that in various different genres. That is just one of the through lines in this book. There is a whole lot that is about specifically beginnings and endings and how we need them to understand the universe and to what extent the stories and narratives that we craft are real, whether or not any sort of ultimate truth through either investigation or storytelling is ultimately possible. But we get not only Percival Unk's incredibly dramatic noir and gothic and mystery genre attempts to make a film of her disappearance. We also get to see portions of her own documentary work, a lot of which is semi-autobiographical. And Catherynne is someone who, despite having these mysteries surrounding both her origins and her disappearance, has never not been recorded because her father is a filmmaker obsessed with capturing everything on camera in some perfect state. But we also are frequently confronted with the fact that her presentation of herself through her work is carefully crafted, and that something she actually shares with her father is a sense that everything is for the camera and everything must be made perfect and made to make sense. There are several things in this book that really spoke to my soul. First, there are an incredible amount of references to mythology in this. That's something you get a lot in Valente's writing, and I loved that. You also, in this, get a whole lot of performing arts history and performing arts alternate history, and I loved that too because my background is in the performing arts, and I loved all the Shakespeare references, and I love the alternate history of the film industry. I think it's very, very clever. Valente's writing style is always incredibly rich and descriptive, and this book is no exception, even though the writing takes different tones over the course of the book as it's told through different mediums, if that makes any sense. There is a level on which this purports to be a mystery. Is it really a mystery, though? I would say it definitely addresses the mystery genre and our expectations of the mystery genre in interesting ways. And I know that's not exactly an answer. If you want easy answers, this is not going to probably be your book. You may find yourself as you read this book perplexed and confused, wondering what is real, and wondering if you're going to get any real answers. This book sort of begs the question of what is reality in the first place. The world that it's set in is blatantly unreal. This is a world that's based in late 19th, early 20th century fantasies of space travel. In this world, spaceships are literally launched out of cannons a la A Trip to the Moon, which is also a fun film history reference. In this world, we first reached the moon in 1858. In this world, all of the planets have breathable atmosphere and native flora and fauna. And I kept wondering as I was reading if the sort of metafictional nature of this world in the first place was going to end up being significant to how it ended up all coming together in the end. And it was, in a way that I am still sort of puzzling through in my mind. I thought it was kind of fascinating. I also don't purport to completely understand it. But I love that this is sort of about how an artistic medium like a novel, or as is the central focus in this book, film, does in a way create worlds with their own internal truths. Another note on the format, as I was reading, I found I had to keep flipping around and referring back to dates and locations and characters that show up in the various portions of these to try to figure out what was going on. So it's not a casual read, it's a very intellectually challenging read. Around the middle, I found myself getting a little impatient with it. I could theorize that maybe this has to do with the fact that there's so much focus on the function of beginnings of stories and endings of stories, but nothing really addressed middles. I don't know if that's just me trying to justify my opinion with something overly clever, though. But there was this extended fictional excursion to Pluto that I really didn't get a whole lot out of beyond the underworld and the Tempest and Lotus Eaters and Nothing is Real. It served to show us a bit more of the solar system. Maybe there was something in there that I should have been getting that I wasn't. Maybe I'd get more out of it on a second read. I don't know. But I did get really engaged again toward the end. I had a seriously hard time giving this a concrete star rating for this review and on Goodreads. I had to sleep on it and think about it for like a day and a half before I did decide on a 5-star rating. I found it hard to rate because I feel like comparing this with most other novels is a sort of apples and oranges situation. I eventually decided that this was fascinating enough to me that I couldn't not give it a 5-star rating. Anyways, I hope you got something out of my attempt to get something out of this book. Please, 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 if you have read this book, let me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't read this book, please, please let me know if what I'm saying about it makes any sense at all. I would love to hear from all of you. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.